Hey folks, welcome to the show. Before I get into the game, I wanted to talk about the Arizona Coyotes situation, not because it hasn't already been talked about already by pretty much everyone, including myself, but because I think it had a strong effect in this game. In January, Turney, the coach for the Coyotes, talked about, well, he didn't talk about this in January, but he talked about recently how in January, when the rumors of Utah or Coyotes moving to Utah came around, it caused the Coyotes to lose a game, or not caused them. He didn't say that, but it was a contributing factor to the Coyotes losing a game, and which began their 14-game losing streak. He didn't blame the media or that or anything, which I think was right. I mean, he could have if he wanted to. I think media does share some blame, but at the end of the day, it's up to the players on the ice, and he understood that, and he said we didn't handle it properly, and this time they are, because they're not just rumors anymore. They have evolved into not official announcements, but reports that the Coyotes are moving to Utah. There has been no, as of recording this, there has been no announcement by the Coyotes, the NHL, or Utah, but the players have been briefed. There is a report saying that the players have been briefed that it's happening. The players were not in the know when it, or know how they weren't briefed very well in January, and this time they are. Um, and they're ready. And I think instead of going out in a sad way as they could, uh, they're making a heroic effort out of it. They really are. Um, it led to a win against the Canucks Wednesday night. It led to a win against the Oilers tonight. So even though me and a lot of Oilers fans are saddened by the fact that we do not have the opportunity to beat the Canucks, well, we still have the opportunity to beat the Canucks tomorrow, but we don't have the opportunity to tie the Canucks for the division lead. They do have the tiebreaker with regulation wins, and I think they have beat us more than we did. Yeah, I don't think we beat the Canucks this year, and I know we lost them twice. I can't remember if there was a third game in there between those two losses and now. But anyways, that's for tomorrow. So obviously that is a disappointment, though the Oilers do get a point out of this whole game, which does guarantee them a home ice advantage in round one. So, but yeah, I think the Coyotes are playing a heroic effort, and it's obvious in the first period. They want to, obviously every player wants to win the game there, but they want to be heroes. And it's Arizona's own hero, Josh Doan, who gets on the board first. 5 minutes, 20 seconds into the game. It's his fourth goal in his ninth game of his career. He's assisted by McBain and Michelli. And the Coyotes are taking advantage of the fact that they are the faster team without McDavid. For a lot of the game, it wasn't too noticeable that McDavid was gone, or at least it wasn't as noticeable as it used to be. Obviously, there's a hole when your best player is gone, and it's a bigger hole when your best player is Connor McDavid. But it wasn't terribly noticeable except at certain points. And one of those points was the first period where the Coyotes are, without McDavid, are the faster team. They have lots of young legs, young, talented, fast legs, including Josh Doan and Michelli. Not long after that goal, less than a minute actually, Carconi takes a slashing penalty, giving the Oilers a chance to tie the game up. They are without McDavid, and this power play, just like against Vegas, is where you obviously very much notice McDavid's absence. The Oilers' power play is still pretty good without McDavid, but it didn't look like it during this opportunity. The Coyotes once again took full advantage of the fact that they were younger and faster. The Oilers' power play operated kind of slow without McDavid. They are very slow and cautious and purposeful of a power play, and it's allowed them to be very good. But at times during the season, it's worked against them, and it worked against them during this power play. Coyotes had multiple shorthanded chances, and one such case demanded Picard to make a big save on that shorthanded chance. So the power play does end. The Oilers didn't allow a shorthanded goal this time, but they very well could have, and they didn't get a goal of their own. The period does prove to be, the whole game really, it was relatively uneventful, not a lot of penalties or goals. But there was another power play opportunity, this time for the Coyotes, 17 minutes and 39 seconds in, when Bouchard finds himself sitting on the bench for 2 minutes for a delay of game penalty. But that power play is killed. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins had one of his best defensive games of the season, which is saying a lot. Anyways, first period ends with a 1-0 lead for the Coyotes. Shots were actually in the Coyotes' favor, 10-6. Second period comes around, and the Oilers are like, okay, we can't lose to the Coyotes. This is our chance to keep proving ourselves. We're coming off some very momentous victories. We got to beat them here. And it leads to an Adam Henrique goal. It's 23rd of the year. This one coming 1 minute and 49 seconds into the second period. He's assisted by Evander Kane and Troy Stecher, former Coyote. So it's all tied up, but not for long. The Coyotes get a go-ahead goal 5.5 minutes into the second period. It's Logan Cooley getting his 20th goal of the year. He now has a 20-goal season as a rookie. He's having an incredible rookie year. It's just overshadowed by the fact that his rookie class also includes Connor Bedard and Brock Faber. Cooley was assisted by Nick Schmaltz and Sean Dursey on that goal. Then by the halfway mark of the second period, the shot total starts favoring the Oilers, and the Oilers really start hammering the Coyotes, and it becomes pretty obvious, like, okay, yeah, the Oilers aren't going to just let the Coyotes get away with this. But Fejmelka, who he's had a bad season, but he's still capable of having big performances. He stones the Oilers for the rest of the period, and at the 13-minute, 29-second mark, Mattias Ekholm goes in for tripping, but that power play is killed off, and the second period ends with a 2-1 lead for the Coyotes. Shots during the second period were 15-8 in favor of the Oilers, and the Oilers continue the siege in the third period. In a rather uneventful third period, the Oilers outshot the Coyotes 18-7, and one of those did go in the back of the net thanks to a deflection. I think was mentioned. Darnell Nurse had his 10th goal of the year, assisted by Warren Fogle and Evander Kane. That came 1 minute and 12 seconds into the third period. And so now we're going to overtime. It's a little different from the last time we played the Coyotes. The Coyotes did have the lead after 2 periods the last time we played them, but the Oilers tied it in the third and then added another 3 goals. I believe it ended 6-3. This time we did tie it in the third, but we didn't add on the goals. And in overtime, the Coyotes' speed becomes obvious. Without McDavid, that's obviously a pretty big hole in overtime, and the Coyotes take advantage of that with their speed. They outshoot the Oilers 3-1, and that third shot went in the back of the net. It's Mateus Michelli's 15th goal of the year, and he's assisted by Josh Stone and Michael Kesselring, Oilers prospect. Picard had a beautiful save during that OT, but is unfortunately not going to be remembered as much as the goal he allowed later. Not entirely his fault. We'll talk about Picard as we get down the review of the whole game. So the game ends 3-2 in favor of the Coyotes, though the Oilers certainly had a very exceptional game in all areas besides the most important goal scoring. Oilers outshot the Coyotes 40-28. They outhit the Oilers 37-18 and won way more faceoffs than the Coyotes. They won 65.5% of the faceoffs. It was a really dominant game by the Oilers, except for the fact that Fejmelka was playing very good and the Coyotes were faster. When I mention those stats, it sounds like, okay, Fejmelka was significantly better than Picard. And yeah, he was, but it's not like Picard had a bad game. I would say Picard had 2 or 3 of his best saves of the season, and it didn't result in a win or a 900 save percentage. He's had lots of games where he'll have a 900 save percentage or a better and win the game, but he didn't look very good. And this game, he looked his best, and he was below 900 save percentage and had the loss, an OT loss, but it's just kind of weird how that works sometimes. Both power plays were effectively neutered during this game. Oilers were 0 for 1, but were a perfect 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Picard, again mentioned, I thought looked really good, but was 25 for 28. Fejmelka looked much better, who had made a lot of excellent saves, just like Picard throughout the game. He saved 38 for 40, an incredible performance for him. And yeah, it is a little disappointing, but it's also kind of bittersweet for the Coyotes for this kind of heroic victory, because now in 2 straight games they beat the two best Pacific Division teams in OT. So I think it'd be pretty cool to see the Coyotes win the rest of their games from here on out. I'd like their next game against the Oilers, because they do have one more against the Oilers, to be an exception to that. But other than that, I'd really like to see them win it out. And I'd say that even if I wasn't partial to the Coyotes, I think it'd be cool. The kind of their going away tour in a way. It's, yeah, a lot of mixed feelings about the move. I'm so happy Utah's finally getting a team, and I love the roster that they're getting, but it comes at a price of a team I really liked, and I know some friends of mine are very devastated. They're local to Arizona. They're very devastated by the move. Anyways, talking about the game, finishing off with the 3 stars of the night. First star was, well, we'll start with third star. Third star was Calvin McCard. Wanted to put him higher, but he was below 900 save percentage. But I still put him as a star because he made a lot of excellent saves on the penalty kill and in OT. Evander Kane was the second star. He had 2 assists, 7 hits, a block in his 16 and a half minutes of time on ice. Darnell Nurse was the first star for Oilers. I mean, if you're new to the channel, I restrict 3 stars to the Oilers. If I included Coyotes, Michelli, Doan, Vejmelka would get much stronger consideration. But anyways, Nurse was the first star for the Oilers. He had the game-tying goal not in my opinion. He did officially have the game-tying goal. He had 2 hits, and he played 22 minutes and 50 seconds time on ice, in which I thought he was very excellent. So that's it for this game. Again, disappointing, but also kind of cool at the same time, if you're willing to get over the fact that we lost, and it was an OT loss to a team you kind of just have to feel bad for. But anyways, the Oilers have a chance at redemption tomorrow night. Would expect McDavid to play. Skinner's pretty much confirmed to play that one as well, since Picard played tonight. And it would be a really cool game for the Oilers to win. It'd kind of be all full circle for the Oilers, where they started the year 0-2 after 2 embarrassing losses to the Canucks. Even though the second game was dominated by the Oilers, they lost that game too, to a backup goalie, which proved to be a trend for the Oilers, even with Knobloch in charge, because Vejmelka is a backup goalie, so maybe that's why the Oilers lost. But anyways, so losing to the Canucks 2 in a row was the start of the Oilers just bad times at the beginning of the year, and now they are playing at elite level with a chance to get some revenge on the Canucks, who are still playing pretty well, but not as well as they were. So it'd be another momentous win for the Oilers in the last week and a half, because they destroyed Colorado and Vancouver with a combined score of 11-3 in those 2 games, and then to beat Vancouver, who started their season really bad. Vancouver started the Oilers season really bad. Would be really cool for them. Anyways, that's it for now. I hope to see you tomorrow for that video. I have other videos planned and other videos out besides Oilers Review, and I hope you check them out. Whether you're looking for cool information or effective white noise, that's okay. You can please leave a like if you think I deserve it, or a dislike if you also think I deserve it. If you do dislike, please tell me why, so I can get better and improve. I know I'm not perfect. And comment if you do like it too. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the game or whatnot. And again, if you want to see my videos, it'd be faster and easier if you subscribe and turn on notifications. I'd really appreciate that too. Anyways, have a good rest of your night if that's where you're at, or good rest of your day, afternoon, morning, whatever. And I will see you when I see you next.